We are following more breaking news right now at 5. We are learning more about a shooting today in downtown Atlanta that injured with 4 people injured.
And we know that the shooting happened inside the hub at Peachtree Center tonight. We do have live team coverage for you. We want to get straight to 11 Alive's Ron Jones live in downtown Atlanta. Ron, less than 30 minutes ago, we heard from the mayor and police chief. What can you tell us?
Well, you know, I tell you, it all started as an argument, according to Atlanta police. 2 guys were arguing. Before you know it, according to police, one guy pulls out a gun, a handgun, shoots that person, and then there were 2 other random people standing by. This is the food court, right? Shooting those other 2 people. Not quite sure if those other 2 were targeted, but apparently that one person was. And that's when you brought in an off-duty police officer who happened to be here in the area and engaged that suspect. And it's still a very active scene, as you can see right now. Atlanta police still investigating. GBI is investigating as well. And the reason why GBI is investigating, because there is an officer-involved shooting. Now, we spoke with Chief Darren Shearbaum about what took place here, how it all unfolded, and this is what he had to say.
The person that we have in custody is a convicted felon. He has served prison time for an armed robbery, and he has 11 previous arrest cycles. This is an individual that should never have been possessing a gun, an individual that should never have placed this community in harm, but that an officer of this department was able to stop that threat.
So apparently this suspect, this alleged suspect, had a criminal history, armed robbery. You just heard from the chief of police there from Atlanta. But here's the other part of the story. This is at 2:17 in the afternoon, a full food court. Folks walking up and down the street here on Peachtree Street Northwest, and before you know it, they hear gunshots. And so that's where we're going to bring in 11 Alive's Molly Oak. You actually spoke with some witnesses who saw it all go down. What are they telling you?
Yeah, first I want to break down the ages for people so they get some perspective of what we're dealing with here. Now, one of the victims was the 34-year-old suspect. Again, the police chief saying he should have never had a gun because he had just served 10 years for armed robbery. He also had 11 cycles with police previously. So this suspect is no stranger to police at this point. The other victims, a 47-year-old, a 69-year-old, and a 70-year-old. I just spoke with a witness on camera who says while the police chief and the mayor gave a lot of credit to that officer who was inside, who they said his brave actions to take down the shooter helped save dozens of other people, this witness tells me that there needs to be a lot of credit to the restaurant owners that are in there as well. They said they were pulling people inside. Another man tells me that he saw the shooter, heard the shots, said he saw that argument as well, and then he says he believes after the shooter shot one person that shooter just randomly shot 2 more people. We did ask police if they believe the other 2 were shot at random. They said they're hoping they'll get more details on that aspect with the investigation. I also talked with a woman who was inside the food court earlier, was outside when the shooting happened. She saw a rush of people come out who just said, "Get down, start running, there's a shooter, go." This is what she says she heard.
And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, like an influx of people were just like sprinting out of there in all different directions. And we were like, what is going on? And somebody like screamed like, there's a shooting, there's a shooter, like run. And we were right here on this corner, like literally right behind me. And so we just went and like got into the Hyatt, and as soon as we got there, they were on lockdown. And so we were in there for about an hour, and they just now started letting people out, but this is as far as we can go.
And first, from perspective, that Hyatt is just a block away. Now, Peachtree was locked down for more than an hour, she says. As far as for cars, multiple hours. Now, it wasn't just this intersection. It was a lot of intersections all along the street. And I want to bring Ron back in. You have some law enforcement perspective. When I was here, we first see dozens and dozens of APD. We see the sheriff's office here. We see GBI, EMS, the fire department. Even though they had already caught the shooter and the other victims, who are all expected to be okay, by the way, what does that response say to you?
Well, they have to canvass the area. So anytime, Molly, that there is an officer involved shooting or a shooting in general, there's so many buildings around here, right? So those bullets can fly anywhere. They can enter one of these buildings and hit another victim. So they have to lock down the area, as we just saw here, and to go from building to building, looking for any more potential victims that may be here in the area, or they're looking for another possible suspect as well. That's all part of canvassing the area. And Molly, thanks a lot, because I know you're one of the first reporters on the scene to talk about that. Also, 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn, I know you've got a perspective of talking about the GBI. You got here just moments after Molly got here. What did you learn?
back around. Back around.
Okay, it sounds like we're having some audio problems with Cody Alcorn. However, I can tell you during our breaking news around 2:30 this afternoon, around 3 o'clock, Cody did talk about the importance of the GBI getting involved. So anytime there's any local police agency that's involved, if there's an officer-involved shooting, they like to have an outside agency, the GBI, to come in to have a different perspective, a third-party perspective when they are investigating an officer-involved shooting, just to make sure it's justifiable, just to make sure that they're collecting as much evidence as possible as they proceed with their investigation as well. We're going to be down here in the 200 block of Peachtree Street for quite some time as we continue to gather more information from APD and also from Mayor Andre Dickens as well. Hopefully we're going to be able to speak with Molly Oak. She spoke with several witnesses, and hopefully we can work out the gremlins with Cody Alcorn's microphone to get his perspective as well. Back to you guys.